Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. So this is just another video in the series where I'm taking you through my whole journaling and planning, setup things, all that kind of stuff. So last time I talked you through what I have been doing or had been doing in 2020 and before. Today I'm going to talk you through sort of what I'm going to be carrying with me every day in 2021. Why is that so weird to say? So I actually have quite a pile of things. Now keep in mind that when I say carry with me every day, I have generally one large everyday carry sort of notebook that I carry with me. I take it with me to work. I usually put it on my desk. It's nearby. I can refer to it if I need to, that sort of thing. But I also carry literally a shoulder bag, like a tote bag to and from work, so that I don't mind having extra things in there. I don't carry this with me like when I go to the grocery store, right? I will talk about that a little bit, but like when I say everyday carry, I mean the thing that like travels with me around the house when I'm working on video things and that sort of stuff. It's like my life in a book. So that's what we're going to talk about, is what I'm setting up for 2021, what that's going to look like. We're going to talk about stationery and pens and notebooks and inserts and paper and all those kinds of things. So if you like that sort of thing, then hang out with me, because I'm also going to bring you along while I do some setup for my 2021. So with that said, let's get into it. So before I get into my big everyday carry, I want to talk about one little thing that I am adding to my daily routine setup for 2021, and that is this cute little Happy Planner Skinny Mini planner. I couldn't not use planner a second time in that sentence. In any case, I saw this at Michael's and I thought it was so cute. It's a little ring bound guy with little tiny rings, and it says goals, crush them, or set goals and crush them. And it's a little piggy bank. It's a little piggy bank. And I was like, cute. And when I saw how it was set up, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I put here my 2021 word of the day, which is refine. This just came to me one day and it just wouldn't leave. It just stuck. So that is my 2021 word of the year. This says, hello, savvy saver. So it is definitely a little skinny notebook that was intended to be used to sort of pay attention to your money, right? Or at least be aware of your money. And so I wanted to incorporate this into a new system I have for kind of keeping track of the fun money that comes my way. And fun money, as I like to call it, is any money that comes my way through any of my side gigs or side projects. So whether that's client readings, or maybe I've sold off an old deck that I'm not using anymore, or any ad revenue from the channel, that sort of thing, because I have a tendency to reinvest those things into other tarot related things. So I want to kind of keep an eye on what's coming in versus what I'm spending out, so that I can remain really mindful. And I also want to do a better job of kind of planning ahead for the purchases I know I'm going to make, such as I know I'm going to make a purchase for my Say Yes to the Deck video series. So I want to plan for that sort of thing. So how I'm going to use this is really simple. So there's a little cover page here. You've got an overview of 2021 and 2022. And then it has a section here for upcoming, I'm going to zoom us in actually so I don't have to pick it up. It has a section here for upcoming bills and expenses. I don't know yet how I'm going to incorporate this. And then there's a little grid section. I don't anticipate using this like in a pretty way. I'm just going to use it in a really practical way. And then going down, you have basically, I've got these sticky notes kind of in a way, and I don't need to have them here to tell you what I'm doing. So you have a tab for every single month, and each one has a little money related like kind of quote on it. Girls just want to have funds. I thought that was cute. No spend. Set goals and crush them again with a money sign. Save now, spend later. So you can see it's kind of just like holding that theme. So in January, just so you can see kind of how this is set up, there's a little overview sort of spread. On this side, you have a monthly calendar, a section for to buy, to save for, and don't forget. And then there's a 1 through 31. And then after that, you have a week on 2 pages that takes you all the way through the month. And that's basically it. And then on the very last page, you have that upcoming bills and expenses section. Again, I don't know if I'm going to use that. How I'm going to use this is really super simple. I'll make note of in the to buy, to save for, and don't forget about any kind of planned fun money spends I want to make. So if I want to save for, say, a new piece of filming equipment or something like that, I'll put it here to remind myself that I have other goals, right? And then in the week on 2 pages section, every single day, I'm just going to make note of any money in and any money out that day. So if I've booked a client reading that day, I'll put, you know, plus however much money. And if I've bought a deck that day, I'll put minus however much money, and I'll say what each thing is for. So this is sort of like a detailed log of money in, money out. But then I'll also, at the end of every day or every week or so, I'll go into this 1 through 31 and I'll put a little like total for the day. So plus total, minus total. So I can keep track of daily expenditures, and I'll probably put a little section over here under don't forget to list the total, like total spent, total earned, right? For that month for myself. And this is just to keep track of essentially my hobby money in and out. So yeah, that's what that's going to be used for. That's literally it. It's very simple. I went ahead and added a little pen loop here in the back. And what I've got in here is a Pilot Kakuno clear pen. I love these cheap Pilot Kakuno pens. They have little smiley faces on their nibs, which I think is actually really super cute. And this is a medium point. And I did a little pen test down here. I said fancy green ink because I always forget the name of this ink, but I'll show you which ink it is. It is really a fancy ink. It is the Emerald de Chavour. I probably slaughtered that. And this is a green ink that has a golden shimmer running through it. It's really, really pretty. I pretty much found out about this ink. Not pretty much. I found out about this ink from Dustin, who showed it to me, and I think it's really pretty. And I thought a green ink in the money planner just kind of felt appropriate. So that's what I'm doing. These Kakuno pens are great because they actually are very low maintenance. I just got a little hard start, but I haven't used this pen for like a couple weeks since I filled it. So, and it slides in smoothly to these elastic band holders. So that is what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to carry this with me, or if I'm going to keep track, or if I'm just going to keep this at home and just like mark in it every day or every couple days what my spends were. I think initially I'm going to carry it with me so that I remember, and then we'll see how this evolves. But this is going to be part of my everyday carry system. That brings us to what is coming up next. So my primary everyday carry is moving to this beautiful A5 notebook. So this is a Chic Sparrow Huckleberry Creme notebook in the deluxe. This cute little hocus pocus charm there was made for me by Dawn Michelle. She sent it to me with my Mythic Tarot, which is she trimmed for me, and I'll put a link to that video down below as long as I remember. And I've already done some sort of pre-setting up, and then I'm going to do some setup on speed up that you guys can watch if you're interested in that sort of thing. So let's get into it. So this is also a 4-strand traveler's notebook. And when you get into it, this looks very similar to my other one. It's just wider. This leather is really nice. I'm really in love with it. So I have one of Peggy's business cards and one of mine. And the funny thing is, I talked about this in the last video. You can actually see the like discoloration that happened from the other notebook that I was using last year. And then I have some like coupon codes I've gotten from tarot sellers from buying their things. So I've got that in there so I remember it exists. So first off, I have a dashboard here. This is just a plastic thing that kind of wraps around a notebook. So for this, I actually cut this page with the ladybug. I painted this in one of the Watercolor With Me books. So I cut it out, cut it to size, and I slipped it in there. And then on the inside cover, I have another painting I did from that same book. And let me zoom you in a little bit. I just realized we're zoomed out too much. So there's my ladybug. And there's my butterfly that I did. And so again, I just cut these out and put them in there because I thought, you know, why bother painting stuff like that if I'm not going to get to look at it? And I love the ladybug. She makes me really happy. So in this first notebook, I have my YouTube planner. So if you remember, this was the one that I was using last year. It's the exact same thing, but you can see how much wider it is. So I will have more room to write. And this is going to be set up much like exactly the same way. I have my sort of 1 through 31 for the entire year, and I will keep track of my sub count here. I may also keep track of another stat if I feel like I have room, or I might not bother. I haven't decided yet, but that is what's going to happen in here. Now, I'm filming this just before the beginning of the year, so when you're watching this, it's well into January. I will have already started using all this stuff, but I wanted to film it when I had time to film it. So that's what that's going to look like. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to date every single month for the year of 2020 because I know I'm going to use this. I don't need to keep any of these blank. And just like in previous setups, this is where I'm going to track all the videos that I'm filming or that I'm posting and the dates they're going to go live on my channel. And then down the side here in this notes section is where I'm going to keep track of whatever decks that I'm working with that week. I'm losing my voice. I've been filming. So this page that comes after every month, I will use this to keep track of my monthly favorites. I usually just break this up into sections. And then this to-do list page, I knocked my camera. This to-do list page will be where I keep track of all the videos I want to get filmed during that calendar month. So there'll be videos for usually in the future. So I'll often list like what the video is and when I'm hoping to put it up on my channel. If I share any of this, if this becomes visible in a minute when I do the speed up, just keep in mind if you see things and get excited, they might move. Dates often move. So that's what's happening there. And that's what I'll use the entire thing for all the way to the end. So this is on the first string. Is my YouTube planner surrounded by a dashboard. The back dashboard, I just found these and printed them off the internet. This one is Great Things Are Not Done by Impulse, but by a series of small things brought together, Vincent van Gogh. And on this side, a C.S. Lewis quote that I love, she believed she could, so she did, which I love that. This next notebook is a catch-all notebook. Oh, I didn't tell you. Sorry, let me back up. So I did create a couple of things to go into my YouTube planner for 2021. So I made this tracker for myself. So this is basically something so that I can track my progress towards 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. That is a goal for 2021. I don't even know if that's realistic. I don't really care, but it'd be fun to kind of keep track of it. So I printed this out on sticker paper and I'm going to be sticking it right there on the inside cover. And then I also made this little tracker, which is intended for me to keep track of the 3 most popular videos in any one month. And that's just for fun. It's also to keep an eye on what kinds of things you guys are enjoying. Like I know that you love my anti-hauls and my Say Yes to the Deck series, but I tend to lose track of what else you guys are enjoying the most. So I want to be able to kind of see that for the whole year and then look back on it when I'm planning future content. So that's what that's for. I don't really need this overview of the dates, so I'm just going to slap it right there probably. And this is also on sticker paper. Okay, now we can move on. So then this middle book, again, still from Good Ink Impressions, just like I mentioned in the last video, this is where I get my like basic inserts. This one is just a grid paper insert on Tomoe River paper. I tend to like the cream paper, but I'm second guessing that now because a lot of the things I've printed are white, but it is what it is. I've printed everything you see here on sticker paper. And Good Ink Impressions always sends these sweet little super thin like page markers. So there's one in the beginning of these inserts still. So as I mentioned, refine is my 2021 word of the year. So I made this like spread and printed it off to stick in the beginning of this sort of blank grid notebook. And my plans for this notebook is for it to be essentially a catch-all for trackers, for notes, for planning, for eclectic witchcraft videos, any of that kind of stuff. But in the beginning of it, I definitely want it to be more bullet journal style. So I want to have some planned things I'm going to be tracking. So I have some notes and that's what I'm going to be setting up today. So I have this refine page to stick here. And then I'm going to set these 2 pages up as an index. And then on these 2 pages, I've created a couple of other trackers. So I made this one. This is the money earned in 2021 and the money spent in 2021. Sorry. And I'll be pulling that data from what I keep track of in this book. So this will be kind of an overview for the entire year that stays in this book as sort of a recap of my year. And then this is something, we'll see how it pans out, guys. But my goal is to bring in no more, or purchase, I should say, no more than 21 decks in 2021. Now, I haven't decided how strict I'm going to be on this yet. Anything that I have already pre-ordered, I'm not going to count towards the 21 deck total, but I am expecting any single deck that I choose to bring in, whether that is by purchase or probably if I say yes to any decks for review, I will probably also note that in here, although I may change my mind on that later because accountability is hard, okay? We'll see how it goes. But I will definitely need at least 6 spots for Say Yes to the Deck, which leaves me 15 other decks to purchase or bring in throughout the year, which is pretty aggressive as a goal. So we'll see how strict I end up being with this, but I'm going to put that in this section. And we'll see. We'll see how I do. But I thought it'd be a fun goal to sort of work towards, because I am trying to reduce the amount of deck noise in my collection. And while I know it's not realistic to bring in nothing for a year, because I love all the new things coming out, I also want to keep it reasonable. So this felt reasonable to me, based partly on the amount of space I have and also on my own sense of overwhelm. And I may also, at least I hope, do a declutter at some point in 2021 as well, but we'll see how that goes. A lot of times decks come in and they are here only for a little while, and I kind of get what I need from them and they do get moved on. When I do that, I feel okay about that. Like, I feel like I've learned from that deck, or I had experiences from that deck, and it's just part of the experience, right? So it will find a new home. Nothing ever gets binned or anything like that. So anyways, I'm babbling. That's the goal. And then I have 2 pages for a deck wish list, because if I'm going to limit myself to 21 decks, I'm going to need to keep track of other decks that have caught my attention. So I have 2 pages to have a deck wish list, and I have some stickers here that came from Zara over at Kitten Chops, because she has some really cute ones that literally say like deck wish list, my wish, my growing deck collection, new day, new deck, all this kind of stuff. So I thought this would be fun to kind of incorporate some of these stickers into these pages. So we'll see how that goes. And then on the next one, I have another thing I'm hoping to do in 2021. And that is that in past years, I have worked with a single deck, a tarot deck every week, and I've rotated. In 2021, I want to work with a deck a month. And that means that all my other decks are going to see use through videos and through pick a card readings and through client readings and just randomly when I feel like it. But I'm going to focus on one deck in a month and really get comfortable and get to know that deck. So at the end of that month, I hope to do a deep dive walkthrough of that deck. And instead of like a regular walkthrough of a new deck, there'll be once a month, there'll be a deep dive walkthrough. So that's the goal there. So we'll see how that goes. But that tracker is going to go right here. On this next page, I want to keep track of any of the books I plan to or want to read. So this is going to be a to be read list for 2021. I have a humongous TBR right now, and I am either have already put up or am planning to put up a video showcasing everything on my TBR list for 2021. That video might not even go up in January because I'm not sure I have a spot to stick it, but watch for that if you haven't seen it already. But I am going to do a overview here so that I know what to pull from. And this will also help me be accountable and not necessarily buy more books, because I definitely have more than I can probably read in the next year. So I want to be accountable there. And that brings me to the next set of pages. These I found online. I will try to find the link and credit it. I don't know if I kept track. I was just browsing on the internet one morning and I was looking for free printables and I found these. But these are pre-done layouts for the books that I've read in 2021. And I'll probably color these a little bit. And then I'll start writing in titles as I finish books in 2021 so I can keep track. And if I remember correctly, there was around 31 decks per page. If I count this book up here under the planter. There's technically another book behind the glue gun craft area down here, but I don't know if I counted that. But anyways, so that should be enough space for 2021, because I typically read anywhere from 1 to 3 books in a month. So if there's 31 per page, I shouldn't get even too far into the second page unless I'm really cruising. So I wanted to have enough room so that I have so I can expand, but I want to at least fill one of these by the end of 2021. That's kind of the goal. And that is the end of my planned trackers. After that, it's kind of a free-for-all, which is why I want the index, which is a very bullet journal style way of tracking. But I want the index so that if I end up like doing a random notes page or a to-do list or something, that I can just come back to this. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's been a lot of talking on just the first 2 inserts. That brings me to the biggest and I guess most hefty, clearly very hefty, insert or book planner that I'm going to be using in 2021. This is the Magic of I 2021 planner. Now I have affixed a pen loop to the inside cover because I want to use a friction pen. As I mentioned before, I'm going to switch back out to the black though. I want to use a friction pen for my planning. Doop doop. Especially YouTube planning, which is obviously this first book in here. or anything else that may move. This was the most reasonable place to put that extra pen loop, so I just stuck it there. I could have stuck it to one of these other inserts, but I just decided that was going to be easiest. So the Magic of I, if you haven't encountered it yet, is an astrological planner. So there's a lot to it, but one of the reasons I chose this as my planner of the year is because I recognized it would let me combine a couple of the other books that I was using previously. So in a nutshell, there is week on 2-page sections here, and this is where I plan to do my tarot journaling. You know, let's just go through because I've got notes about everything I'm going to be using in here. So there is a place to enter your information. There's also a place to draw in your own birth chart. I have printed mine out. I don't know if I'm going to draw it in or not. We'll see how ambitious I get. I will bring you along with me for a sped up setup of all of this, which I'm looking at the time I've been talking, and that will probably have to be a separate video because I've had a lot to say. So I'll do a separate video showing, like on speed up to music or something, setting everything up, but we'll see if I draw this in or not. But there's a ton of really great astrological information, and astrology and learning astrology is sort of a undercurrent to what I want to accomplish in 2021. So this is a page I want to tab because in the 2021, in the Magic of I, they have these kind of optimum times life guide keywords. So based on astrology or where the planets are, there's certain kind of key things to look for. So there's a diamond mind, which is when you're really good with mental clarity. There's a love it up, which is about, you know, obviously sex, romantic energy, when those things are favorable. Home sweet, power on, turns to gold, which obviously is about manifestation and expansion and growth. Goals, stroke of genius, psychic days, shadowy deep, heart explosions, go with the flow, and dark moon chill. So it also tells you whether, if it's a plus that you see next to it, then it's extra potent. And if it's a minus, then it's challenging that day. So you'll see these like little phrases, like here's a love it up here, turns to gold. Here's love it up with a little minus, and stroke of genius with a minus. So these are going to be challenging days. So it's just, I want to tab it so I can refer back to it and kind of get to know how these things are actually impacting my life. So that's what that's for. And there's a whole introduction to how it works and like how it's set up and all that kind of stuff. So I want to tab that. So let's put that back there. There is some information on holidays, an overview of the year, 2021 and 2022. Here's another page that I want to tab. This is an astrological reference guide. So there's information on each astrological sign, their keywords, qualities, element, body part, and mode. So cardinal, fixed, or mutable. There's also a section that overview on the houses and on the planets. So this is a super handy reference guide, particularly for studying astrology. So I want this tabbed so I can find it easy. And there's more on the astrological reference guide. It goes on to aspects, elements, again, cardinal, fixed, mutable. There's information on eclipses. I mean, this is a very comprehensive guide. There's information here on moon planting and how that works with the lunar cycle, which is exciting to me. There's a Decan tarot wheel, which is also really freaking cool. Breaks down the tarot deck by Decan. And a planetary day and hour chart. I mean, like, this is very handy for any kind of magical working or magical planning. The reason I wanted to use this as my primary planner is because I knew I wouldn't make use of this information if I tried to segregate it into like a magical notebook. I needed it. My magic gets integrated into my day-to-day. So I wanted to use this as my day-to-day planner, if that makes any sense. More about our astrological bodies and planetary correspondences. There's information here about planetary movements and retrogrades for 2021 mapped out. There is a lunar moon phase overview page. And there's 2 pages here, 2 pages? 4 pages on the phases of the menstrual cycle, which I really appreciate this because my cycle definitely moves with the moon. So reading about the different energy levels, the challenges, what it's a good time for, all that kind of stuff is, I think, really great. So there we go. And then there's an overview of the entire year and moon phases. And there's just so much. There's a ton of aspect information for the entire year here. I'm curious to see how much I'll refer back to any of this stuff. We'll see. So here's another page that I want to tab because this has all of the 2021 new moon and full moon dates eclipses as well as retrogrades and direct. Specifically Mercury I want to keep an eye on, and I want to learn more about these other retrogrades as well, so I want to tab this page. And then we get into the actual planner. So you can see there's quite a bit of information, and then there's the actual planning portion. So this stuff I'm going to fill out off camera because I think, we'll see when you get to see my setup video. But this is going to be your important intentions for the year. And then there is a full page for spiritual, what you want, and actionable steps, and mental, work, love, money, social, physical, and inspiration. So these are your 2020 intentions. So I will probably work this stuff off camera. I may also do a tarot spread for each of these sections, depending on how ambitious I get. We shall see. And then we get into the month-to-month planning. So now for every month you get an overview page where you get a month at a glance. So the sun is in Capricorn on December 21st and Aquarius as of the 19th of January. And then the moons, we have new moon in Capricorn, date, full moon in Leo, date, so you know when the moons are going to be. And monthly themes and reflections, so structure, career, and goals for January. And then important transits for the month, extra long void moons. I mean, like, it's a great, like, snapshot of what's happening in January. I am tempted to color this page each month because it's not that much. We'll see. I have no idea if I will or not. I might just leave it because it's real pretty. So that's just the intro botanical. And there is actually in the back of the book, there is a 2021 illustration guide. So the plants for January is arnica, horsetail, and boneset or comfrey. So I could look those plants up and actually color them correctly. We'll see. We'll see if I get that keen. So moving into the part of the planner here, this is where I'm going to be tracking, as my little sticky note says. I'm thinking appointments and big events. I actually may not do that. We will see. I probably will because I like to have everything in one spot. But there's so much astrological information that the space to note appointments is really small, but I also don't have that many appointments. So this will probably work just fine. I'll also probably make note of any paydays and any vacation days that I have planned in a month. Again, we'll see. It's pretty cramped. So maybe not. I haven't decided. But what I have decided to keep, this is just a little arrow paper clip that I got in a Owl Crate box. But I did make this. So this, I printed this off. Again, a free printable I found on the internet. And this is a little habit tracker. So I just put it onto sticker paper and stuck it to some cardstock. And it just lets me put in like the month. So I can put January and then I can track 3 different habits in the month. And so I'm going to pick what those are going to be. And then I'm going to keep that just tabbed in here to my month. I may or may not keep it clipped. I may just tuck it in like a bookmark almost, because I don't know how much I'm going to use this page otherwise. So that's the plan there. We'll see what I decide to track and if I decide to stick with this. Probably initially this is actually going to be journaling practices that I track here. And then after your month on 2 pages, you have a monthly goals and a monthly intentions section, which is fantastic. So this is a great spot for me to keep track of any big picture things I want to do and any big things or big energies I want to focus on. This is also a great spot for me to do a month ahead spread for myself and just a simple one. Take a photo of it and note some basic thoughts about what I want to focus on for the month ahead based on that spread. Because again, let me just show you the size of these photo pages that come in my, oh, there's only one paper left in there, but so I can put a full picture, right? And then I can just make some notes. So I have the opportunity to do that here. And I will often actually trim these down a little bit when they go in my books. So I've got space to do that if I want. And then on this section, this is where I'm going to keep track. So let me show you. So much like how in this book, I would keep track of any videos I was going to film for the month in this section, I'm going to use this section, I think, for that. So if I have certain plans for, not there, I'm lying to you. In this book, I used to keep track of like videos I want to film, what decks I'm going to use, pick a cards, things like that, tarot by the books, etc. So those kinds of things, I'm going to break it down by what I want to get filmed each week. And there's sort of 2 columns here. So that's what I plan to do with this section. This is also where I can make note of any client readings that are due, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to use that section for. So it kind of lets me combine, right? So I'll be able to combine things that I was doing in other inserts into this. And then from then on, I have tarot journaling. So just to compare, so you can see, oh, I put it down over here. So this is the same exact height as what my tarot journal looked like before. And just to give you an idea, like that's kind of how much space I had for photos. So I'm going to have enough room to put a photo in each daily entry and then have actually way more room to write than I've had before about those cards, right? So I'll have more space for the most part because a lot of times I only journal a few lines. So my photo and my tarot journal. So this is going to be my tarot journal in this book. And finally, and this is what also really excited me about this particular planner, for every month you have a full page for new moon intentions and a full page for full moon illuminations. This is perfect because I can actually do my new moon in Capricorn tarot spread and journal it here, and my full moon in Leo tarot spread and journal it here. So this really excites me because, again, I would normally be squeezing that into a different insert. So that's how I'm going to use this planner. That's the goal. We will see. And then in the back pen loop here, oh, I didn't even show you the coolest, well, one of the coolest parts, a couple coolest parts. In the back here is a pocket. This is a Planisphere, which I just think is really cool. I don't know how much I'll use it, but this was actually given to me by my one son's girlfriend, Kim. So this lets you actually change the wheel, like dial in to the day and the time and be able to see essentially what constellations should be visible in the sky for the northern, for Canada, for latitude 51.5 north. And then these, I will have a link to these down below, but these are a set of seasonal stickers. There's one for every single month, and I'm going to use these to decorate my planner in advance because I am lazy, you guys, and I will not decorate as I go. I get lazy, I just get using it, and I don't make it pretty. So I'm going to make it pretty in advance. So that will be in the separate video where I do all the setup stuff. And then I have my favorite little ruler here, which will probably live in the back. And then in the very back, I'm very proud of this because I made this myself. Kind of. I found this graphic, which is actually meant to be ring punched and then put into a ring bound journal. And then I found this graphic. I printed these off onto sticker paper, stuck them onto cardstock, used a brush pen to write the year here, 2021. Oh, I'm kind of out of focus. Or not out of focus, but it's too, there we go, too zoomed in. Anyway, so it says, "Hello, beautiful," and it's a cute little baby unicorn, and so is that. Super my aesthetic. And then there was another one that said, "But first, coffee." So I did the same thing on the back. I just think these are so cute. So I printed this, and I have it sitting in the back, but how I'm going to use this is when I'm working in my planner, whatever page I happen to be in, I can just tuck this in, like probably it'll go in my YouTube planner, to be honest. So for January, instead of having like a clip or something, I'll just plunk that in, and then when I close my planner up, it sticks out. And instead of these clippy things that I found tended to fall off, this stays in, and I can just open up to the page that I'm working on. So that'll probably end up living in my YouTube planner. We'll see how the final setup goes. But yeah. And lastly, in my built-in pen loop is going to be my journaling pen. And this is my Twisby Eco, I think this is an extra fine. I literally can't remember if this is an extra fine. I think it is. So I've already flushed and rinsed this pen out. I'm going to be inking this up, and this will be what I do, all of the things that aren't going to be moved. So any tarot journaling that I do, I'll use this pen. And any planning that might be moved around, I will use my friction pen. And that is my everyday carry setup for 2021 for the bulk of what I'm going to be doing. Now I'm going to show you, which is good that I'm doing the actual setup in a different video because this is getting long. There's one other thing that's going to be traveling with me every day, all day, essentially, and that is my wallets. So let me share those with you. So keep in mind that part of how this all came about, I was gifted this notebook from Don Michelle, which was super crazy generous. And there was a sale at Chic Sparrows. These are both Chic Sparrows. So I purchased several. That's where I got the Huckleberry Creme that I just showed you. And I'm going to show you my 2 wallet setups that I'm going to be using. So that's what these are. So this is the Pemberley Aubergine notebook that Don Michelle gifted me. It's Chic Sparrow. Love this. Very excited about this. So let me walk you through this. This is going to be the wallet that I take with me like to work and stuff. This is going to be the one. So really, this is kind of my everyday carry pile right here. This will probably stay home because this is a lot of weight already. But anyway, so this is going to be my day-to-day wallet. First off, in the pen loop, this is my prized purchase of 2021. This is a Twisby Eco Mini. It's a special edition that came out in December. I got this instead of a deck, and it is rose gold, not really rose gold, I don't think, but it's rose gold colored nib and body. And this is a mini, but it posts to be a really nice, like full-size pen. So this is going to live in my wallet little mini notebook. One thing I've come to learn through 2021 is that I always have either a small notebook or typically whatever my everyday carry is, like next to me on the couch when I'm hanging out at home, and I always like to have something available to make notes in. So anyways, so in here I have it's a deluxe, so I have a couple pockets. So I have an Amazon gift card to use and a $5 coupon for Book Outlet to use. This little fabric thing here was not made by Peggy, but this is actually purchased from an Etsy shop called Thread and Prints, and they make these like wallet inserts that are made for traveler's notebooks. So I got this one to go in my everyday, mainly because I wanted a zipper pouch so that I have a spot for loose change or any other small items that I tend to pick up, you know, with your wallet, right? So that's there. And then I have a dashboard. So let me zoom us in and I will show you guys. So this is one of my wedding photos with Peggy. I call this our fairy tale photo. I love that photo so much. And then on this side is another one from that same bridge. And then this is a Moleskine Volant, V-O-L-A-N-T. I'll have links to everything down below. But this is a Volant notebook, and this sticker actually came with my Thread and Prints order, which I thought was so my aesthetic. So of course it went right on. It's like a vinyl sticker. Went right on this notebook. I picked these notebooks because they fit in this. This is a pocket size. They fit in this pocket size notebook perfectly, and the pages are perforated. So if I make a list or want to write a note to somebody else, I can pull the pages out, which I think is perfect for a wallet notebook. And then the back part of the dashboard. This is eldest man child John and his girlfriend Kim. And then on the back, that is son Steve, Shayla, our black dog, and then of course Peggy again with Bruno. There are tons of photos with Steve with both dogs, but I just couldn't find a good one to print, so I had to split that up. Next over, I've moved some stickers over from one of my sticker books I have to cover the cover page because it was super boring, but this was actually just a free little pocket calendar that one of our suppliers at my work were giving us. So I took the cover, that branded cover off of it, and it just had this like basic 2021 calendar in it. And this is a week on 2 page, and this is actually perfect for keeping track of basic appointments. So I may end up not only doing appointment keeping in here and not even trying to do it in my bigger Huckleberry Creme, because this is probably all I need for like day to day. And then I can just reserve my Huckleberry Creme for my actual tarot journaling and tarot to-dos and things like that. So this is probably going to be for appointments. And plus, I'll have it with me 90% of the time. So that's going to work. And that's the back of that. There's a little secretarial pocket here. So that is my main wallet. And typically, it would have my driver's license and my debit card in these spots, actually. But the reason it's not in there is because I also set up this little Nano. So this is a Chic Sparrow Nano in the Outlander leather in the color Fraser, which is, I love this leather. Anyway, so this little guy has a little pocket here and a little pocket here. And these are actually just card-sized pockets. And this only has one strand on it. So I've just set it up really super simply. I have another Thread and Prints little, little wallet insert here with a zipper pocket. So it's exactly the same setup as this, just miniaturized. But this one, the Thread and Prints little Nano one, comes with a pen loop. So I was able to put one of these Pilot Petite Pro pens in here, and this one is the blue black. So I have a full-size pen, essentially, that can live, even though it's such a tiny little wallet. And I have this for those days where I just want to grab my driver's license and my debit card and go. So this literally is pocket-sized. I've reprinted, I have the same exact set of 4 photos in the little dashboard here. Isn't that cute? But I didn't size them quite right, so I've actually reprinted them so that they'll fit better. So I'm going to trim these down and replace the little extra small ones in here. And then there's just a little Chic Sparrow insert that came with it that I just put in the middle. So literally on the go, I have a mini version of this wallet that I can take with me. And the little notebook means that if I just grab this little one and we're still out and about and like make an appointment, I can write it in here and just transfer it over to the bigger wallet when I get home. So that's what this is. And in this back here, I've been carrying this in my wallet ever since I got it. It says it is safe for me to accept money. This is actually a card from Ethany's Money Manifestation card deck, which I don't have, but I received this card in a Witch's Moon box at one point, and it's been living in my wallet ever since. It got really trashed, so I actually recently just re-corner rounded it to a bigger, a more rounded corner to freshen it up, and it's good as new. And that just lives in the back. But this is great because in this little wallet, you can use the zipper pouch for change. You can also tuck any cash in that pocket. Everything's super compact. And like size-wise, like look how cute. And like what's a good size comparison? Like here's my little Canon Ivy printer. Like it's like a little wallet. This is smaller than the wallet I used to carry before, which I thought was pretty small. So these are my wallets. So really this is a part of my like everyday carry system. One last thing to share with you guys is this little guy. So this is also going to be traveling around with me. This is just a little pen pouch. Rather than a whole bag full of extra pens, I'm just going to carry 3 for a reason. So I will have 1 Micron pen. I love using these for making layouts on pages. So if I want to mark out a tarot spread or mark out my favorites page in my YouTube journal, this is what I tend to use for that. A single mild liner, I can change out the color, but I want to have a single highlighter available at all times. And my Twisby Eco in the stub nib. And this one is holding a really pretty fancy ink because the stub nib writes in like italics. So it kind of automatically does a bit of like that kind of calligraphy thing. So this is fun for headings, and it has a really pretty, like, I don't know if it's going to show up in this light, but it's not on this paper anyway, but it's like a blue-red ink called Organic Studio Nitrogen ink. When it dries, it's got a blue-red shift and it's really pretty. So I like to keep that in a wider nib so you can kind of see it. So these 3 pens are going to just live in this, so that when I want to do other things in my journal, other than with my friction pen or my main pen, I kind of have this little extra one that can go with me with whatever journal I'm working in as my little extra guy. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of talking about my everyday kind of, oh, let me zoom out again. That was a lot of talking about my everyday carry stuff, but I don't mind lugging some things around to stay organized. I mean, in reality, it's going to be pretty much these 3 things most of the time. This little finance one is probably just going to stay home and I'll just track it like every day or something, rather than cart it around with me. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I can make note of any purchases in this one like temporarily and then move it over. And this is just when I want to just, like when Peggy and I are going to the store, I grab this. I don't grab this big one. So yeah, like if we were going to like a doctor's appointment, I'd probably bring this and my bag because I'd also have a book to read. And you know, I don't travel light, you guys. In case you can't tell, I don't travel light. But if we're just making a quick run somewhere, I would just swap out. So I just move my debit and driver's license only over into this guy, and this is what I use. So that's why this is loaded up this way, because I'm filming this while I'm taking some time off work. So this is what I've been using. So that's what's in there. So yeah, the only thing left to do as far as setup for these is to fix up my photos for this and put some ink in my pen. So, and in this pen as well. So I will be inking that stuff up when I do my setup video, which you will see in the next one on my journaling stuff. So stay tuned for the next part. That is it for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a fun chit chat hang out with me while I go over my systems for 2021. I can't wait to hear more about what you're doing in 2021. I love staying organized. It helps me to be sane and feel like I am on the right track with my goals and things I want to get accomplished. And it just keeps my brain from feeling overwhelmed and overloaded. So that is what I'm up to. I can't wait to hear more about what you're up to. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed talking about all these geeky things. Subscribe if you are new here. Click the little bell to be notified of all my future videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, if you want to book a reading with me, you can always do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.